Good morning or afternoon or whenever you're watching this. I'm Grace Willard, and I have been doing a blended learning model for this whole summer. So I'm a little tiny bit ahead, but I'm not so far ahead that I don't remember spring when all these words seemed unfamiliar. So today I'm going to go through and just do a little bit of the vocabulary of blended or of virtual learning. That way we're all on the same page together, because that's going to be a huge deal coming in the fall. And maybe you're already starting school right now, I don't know. So here's these four main types of learning that's virtual or some sort of mixture. A hybrid model is where kids are in the classroom physically in the brick and mortar school for part of the time, and the other part of the time they're at home doing their work. Schools that look like this are doing 1 or 2 days a week where half the kids are in, and then they go home and work from home the other two, and then they switch. So the other half of the kids come in towards the end of the week, or they alternate, like maybe Mondays and Thursdays are one group of kids, and then Tuesdays and Fridays are one group of kids. So that's a hybrid learning model. Face-to-face learning is our normal brick and mortar school. They're in our classrooms, they're saying hello to us. We hold the door open for them, we do the fist bumps or whatever. Maybe not this year, but that's a face-to-face model. Blended learning is partially online only and partially face-to-face, but it's virtually face-to-face. So that's when we do, that's where async and synchronous learning comes in, and I'm going to talk about those today because that's what my school's doing. So that's what I know the most about. And then virtual learning would be only online, no face-to-face models. This is typically where you see the kids going online and doing work through Edgenuity or some sort of online program where they just do it through the computer. There might be some tutoring allowed or involved, but nothing like a blended model. So first of all, let's talk about async versus synchronous. And this is fairly simple. Ready? Asynchronous learning is not face-to-face. It's on the kid's own time. It's synchronous is like a clock, right? Tick, 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 all the time. Async would be not like that. So this is not face-to-face. I'm currently doing a workshop through Reimagine What Ed, and they swear up and down, they've been doing this for years and years and years. Asynchronous time is the time for new learning. This is where the kids learn at their own pace. You give them options, you give them choices. You say, hey, this is me talking, but also you could watch this same video over here through somebody else talking. Maybe that makes more sense to you. Or maybe you'd prefer to do it through this activity that I made. So, and then they practice it then, and they also prove that they've done it then. So that's all asynchronous. That's most of the learning is happening then. So then what the heck is synchronous? Synchronous is face-to-face. Now this is either in a brick and mortar classroom if you're doing a hybrid model, or through Zoom or Google Meet if it's a blended learning model. Or Microsoft Teams, I think, has a version of this too. So there's a lot of different options out there, but Meet and Zoom seem to be the top two. This is face-to-face. Again, that same group, Reimagine What Ed, says this is specifically for building relationships and strengthening knowledge. So this is where you do those things that you have to do with a group. Group work, team projects, doing stuff together. As a math teacher, this is where I'm going to throw in those Desmos activities like polygraphs that I have to do when everybody's at the same time. It's synchronous. They're all going to be there. Now, a lot of districts are asking you to record those. That's fine. But those kids are going to miss out a little bit on that team building and that teamwork, so they can still see what happened, but they can't participate. And that's going to make them want to come a little bit more. Just saying. Okay. Let's talk about this thing called a Core 4. And now some of your districts might have come out with this already, and that's totally fine. A lot of districts in the spring found that every single teacher was doing something different, and it was confusing the parents and it was confusing the kids because they had to go through a million different places to get what they were looking for. So the Core 4 is made up these four things. A home base. Your home base could be Google Classroom, could be Microsoft Teams, it could be Seesaw, it could be Schoology or Schoology. I'm not quite sure how to say that one. I'm not going to lie to you right now. But it's somewhere that the kids go every day to get information. And a lot of districts are asking us to do them all the same, so you might not get a choice in this, which is why a lot of training is going to happen right around now on how we get those things going. how do we run these things. I do have an art or a video already about Google Classroom because that's what I'm most comfortable with, but I did do some Seesaw over the summer for the littler kids, so I'll do a video of that too. Keep an eye out. Hit like and subscribe to know when I post that. The next part of the Core 4 is your asynchronous module. So a lot of schools it's how you record your video. Is it Screencastify? Is it, it's usually Screencastify. I haven't seen a lot of others. But it's some way that you record yourself so that way the kids can participate in the learning process. Synchronous is how you meet face-to-face with the kids. And we've already kind of talked about that. That's usually going to be Zoom or Meet. Well, there's a couple different options out there too. Big Blue Button is one of them. They're a conference hosting website. That was a cool conference I did this summer too. And then the storage container. It's just where your stuff is. I don't really know why this is part of the Core 4. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but our district says that, hey, we're going to use Google Drive for all of our stuff to be hosted, and that's fine. It's probably so that way the kids can access it. That way a school on Chromebooks is going to use Google. A school without Chrome is probably going to use Microsoft. So that's your storage container. Where do you keep your stuff? None of these overlap. I'm not going to use like my home base is where I give the kids the information, but I don't record myself talking on the home base. I post the recording, right? So I'm not going to have anything that double dips because I want 4 total things that I can do. Does that mean you have to only use those 4 things? No. Those are just the main 4 that you're going to be using, so that way everybody's the same across the district. The kids get familiar with it. There's an airplane outside, and you can probably hear it. I'm so sorry. So that's the idea there in terms of what the Core 4 is. You can supplement. I'm going to supplement with Desmos. I'm going to supplement with Edupuzzle, which is where the kids watch a video and then they can you answer your questions and they have to pause it at certain times. So there's other ways to do it too. All right. And then let's talk about what an LMS is. It's a learning management system. Learning management systems is part of the Core 4. It's usually the home base. So again, these are things like Schoology or Schoology, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams. Those are options for learning management systems. Seesaw is one of them as well. So those are the main vocab words that we've learned over the summer that if you've been on vacation and maybe waiting for all the dust to settle, and you don't know them, this is going to help you out a little bit. So I hope you learned something today. Again, I don't know what this channel is right now. It's so many different things, but like and subscribe. You can also hush me if you don't want to get notifications. I don't mind. But I hope you have a great day. Bye.